Alrighty guys, welcome back to another LEGO set review from BrickByBrick. Today we have set number 70504. This is the one and only Garmatron, 2 instruction booklets, and contains 328 pieces, 3 minifigures, and retailed for $39.99 in the United States. And this set was released in 2013 as part of the final battle wave, based off of Season 2 of the TV show, the second half of it. However, the actual show was released in 2012, I believe, or maybe really early 2013, so they didn't exactly line up, with each other in terms of release, but, that was a long time in the past, so we're just here to look at the actual, bricks. And the first part of that is this little ice spider, as they call it, in the official description. And it's kind of a really small little kind of weird build. But I think the worst part about it is that it does not appear in the show at all. So it has no, show accuracy. And it's not a bad thing. I mean, it looks alright, and it's relatively interesting. These pieces are relatively rare, only appearing in a couple of sets in this color, mostly Hero Factories, so, if you're buying this set, you probably would not have, owned any of those pieces, so it would have been cool to see. Some stickers on the front, and you can articulate these front legs, so you can kind of change the angle Zane is sitting at. They do like to fall off, relatively easy, just because of the way it's built. But, it's not a super interesting build, mainly because of its lack of show accuracy, I would argue. But, it's alright. I do like the chairs in the back, but other than that, it's just kind of is what it is. Interesting thing, the set does say you can fire the ice shooter in the official description. I don't know what they're talking about because there is no real ice shooter that you can actually use, unless they're talking about this thing, which, would be, used as a cannon or something, but there's nothing to really actually fire, so I just think it's interesting that they state that in the set description. The full Garmatron vehicle is Garmadon's super weapon, basically, from the whole second storyline, like the main part of Season 2, the main whole final battle, really important thing. Yeah, this is supposed to be that really big vehicle that Garmadon, or is powered up by the celestial clock striking 0, powered by dark matter, and, shoots missiles that turn things evil. In the show, that was a really, really big vehicle. And this is kind of small. It's smaller than, it's shorter than Cole's Earth Driller, which was also really big in the show. And still at that point smaller than the real Garmatron. So this is definitely not really close to accurate in scale, and as a result, I don't think it's nearly as menacing as it should be. But I do think that they approximated the shape a decent amount. The tracks, I think, look good, and they work well, kind of, They are the kind of rubber tracks that can kind of get, caught in certain spots, as you can kind of see here. There are sections where it will either speed up or just slow down. So that's, okay. I almost would have preferred a cheater wheel and have these just be kind of raised off the ground a little bit, because they do have a lot of friction and don't work perfectly, but is what it is. And the actual design from the front, yeah, it looks okay. However, it's missing the whole big cannon that sticks out the front, which is a very prominent feature on the vehicle in the show. This does kind of replicate that with this Technic shooter, which you can stick out. It doesn't stick out nearly as far as it should, but if you push that forward really fast, the actuator, which is right here, it will launch the shooter, like you would, because there's a little dome piece on the inside there that hits this plate as it goes forward, It's really tough to see in there, but you know, and I don't want to take the whole thing apart, but if you move this forward, you can see that dome kind of that is rotating back and forth right now. That hits a plate that just extends across, and if you just push it softly, it won't shoot, but if you like actually push it, you know, we'll demonstrate from the other side now. If you go like that, it doesn't shoot, but if you go like, whoops, like that, it'll shoot off. So you gotta have a little force to it, which I think is good because it makes it kind of feel better to use. And the front has some stickers on there. Not gonna dwell on those too much, but they do add a little bit of detail. However, I don't think that they're very important to the look. I just think that the look is kind of a little off here. I do like the samurai helmet style, but I think that it comes out better from the back, actually, than from the front. I like this view of it. I think that this looks pretty good. There's a little prison cell in the back. It's actually not that big, and there's no wall blocking the, you know, the ground that you can see. You can see my floor, my hand through there. There's nothing blocking that off, so your figure could just jump backwards. But you can stick Zane in there, lock him up. The actual vehicle in the show, again, does not have a prison cell, but you can, you know, that's what I'm talking about. He can fall out, so you really do have to stick him to the studs in there. There is a little bit of space to pose figures on this little platform, so that your Stone Army warrior, who's also included in the set, could just stand in front and guard the prison cell. Other thing to note is the stickers. There's 4 pretty big ones on these half dome-ish UFO pieces, which I think are good looking. They contribute a lot to the look of the set. I don't remember if they were easy or difficult to apply, but I did a pretty good job, so they must not have been too hard. And up here, I really like these stickers on the inside of the these round pieces. I think that they look really good, and yeah, I just like them quite a bit. But you know, the overall shape of this top section, I think, does look pretty good, and I think that that's one of the highlights of the set, especially when you can stick a figure like General Kozu inside. He looks pretty good. You can stick him in the back so that he's this height, or if you really want to make him imposing, there is a section that is about a brick taller, if you look in here, and that, you know, kind of just gives him a little bit of extra height. The other little feature that is inside this top section, there are just some clips, and you can stick the swords for Kozu in there if you don't have another place to store them, or if he has stolen Zane's ice blade. But you know, overall, the Garmatron vehicle here, I don't think they did this vehicle justice from the show. I think that it makes a decent toy, but still there's things that could have been done better, like the jail cell could have been closed off. However, you could see that as a play function where your figure can break out. And also, the actual tracks don't work perfectly, and it's not, you know, it's kind of disappointing to roll this across the ground and have the tracks just not move or slide like that. Which, you know, if you don't put enough weight on the back, that will happen, and if you put too much weight on the back, the front won't move, so it's kind of a trade-off there and doesn't work perfectly. Also, directly from the side, it's a little gappy, and, well, the whole thing is gappy, pretty much all over the place. But I think that from an angle like this, it looks okay, still does not look super great. Actually, if you look closely at, you know, images from the show, screenshots, the configuration of tracks isn't even right. This track here, instead of being, you know, up at that high angle, should also be just like that. So, again, not really accurate. Another reason to dislike the set. I think that they probably should, you know, have made a slightly better model, or at least a better effort to look like what it's supposed to. Unless this isn't really supposed to be Garmatron, but it is. You know, it's in the name. Also, I think there's a little bit too much lime green. Yeah, there should be a little in the color scheme, but from certain angles here, you get a little bit too much in there. The first minifigure is Zane in his kimono suit, which is exclusive to this set, and obviously it's an exclusive ninja outfit. For Ninjago fans, that's going to be a real draw. Especially, you know, if you get some of the other sets, you're going to want to have all of the characters in this outfit. He comes with his elemental blade, which is, you know, not completely exclusive because these parts started to appear in other sets later, but, you know, harder to get and is nice and collectible for this wave. The torso and leg detailing looks really good. I like it quite a bit. This is, again, one of my favorite ninja suits for the Ninjago show. Standard Zane face, you know, as always. And the back print on there is also pretty good. But there is one thing that I really, really hate about this figure, and that is he did not come with ZX shoulder pads. These shoulder pads were not included with the set. It's one extra part, and if you put these on here, which they do appear on this outfit in the show, if you put them on there, he just looks so much better now. I like this look a ton. This is one of my favorite suits. Without the shoulder pads, though, it just doesn't look nearly as good, and doesn't look show accurate either, which I think is a big downside. I think that had they included those shoulder pads, this figure would have been at least twice as good. And we probably should have looked at these guys separately, but General Kozu and the Standard Stone Warrior are both, you know, villain figures. The Stone Warrior is a little hard to see at the moment with the lighting, but he gets a standard red rice hat and a katana weapon. General Kozu gets 2 of these butterfly swords, which are always a cool mold. And other than that, the figures, you know, are pretty accurate to the show. I'd say more accurate than Zane. But Kozu's helmet is exclusive to this set. The little bottom section. I believe that the red samurai helmet part is also unique to this set. Because I don't think it was used on the Kozu that was included in the Samurai X Cave Chaos. The faces, I believe, are also unique for this Kozu. I think they had to redo it for Samurai X Cave because this one wasn't around anymore. And the top torso, I think, may also be slightly updated in that one as well. But I have not, you know, compared them myself super closely. I'm not going to bother taking that shoulder armor off for the Stone Warrior because it is relatively, you know, standard. But Kozu's torso and legs are exclusive. He was redesigned for Day of the Departed, so these elements were completely dropped in favor of just using a standard Stone Warrior body part. But overall, I think that these 2 figures are, you know, good. I don't think there's anything wrong with them. Like, I have that one major complaint with Zane. The Stone Warrior, you know, I like the design of the Stone Warriors. I think that this one is not special, but it's cool to be able to build up a little army. And Kozu being, you know, the general and one of the important characters in the Stone Army, I think he's a desirable figure. And I think that he is probably a big draw to this set. So, overall, I honestly have trouble recommending this set to anybody. The figures, I think, are the only real draw, specifically Kozu and Zane. However, they did an awful job with Zane, not including the shoulder pads. I think that is not a very forgivable mistake, seeing as it is so easy to just add that one shoulder piece. I think that for all of the KX Ninja, they should have included those. Kozu is great. I have no complaints about him. He's the only thing that I really love about this set. Obviously, I said I like the ninja costume for Zane, but I really, really wish that the shoulder pads were included. Zane's Ice Spider, completely forgettable, has no show importance, doesn't look super great. It's kind of cool to build and adds a little play value, but I would rather have seen these parts added in to maybe try and fill in some of the gaps on the Garmatron itself. And speaking of this vehicle, it's not a very well done model. I think that there are a lot of problems with this that I pointed out earlier. Again, the gappiness, the prison cell lacking a back wall. Yeah, it's just like even just leaving those black studs exposed just makes it look a little sloppy. I mean, I don't think this is a very well done model, and it definitely does not do the real thing in the show justice. And the other thing, the price for this set is $40. I don't really think that that's a good deal for what you get. I think 30 would have been reasonable, and even just based on price per piece, and these pieces aren't too small, so I think that $30 would have been reasonable for 326, but $40 is a little expensive, and this, yeah, you do get a decent sized vehicle, but comparing it to like the X1 Ninja Charger, I think that that's a better deal. The vehicle is a little bit bigger and better looking, more finished looking than this. Let's see, what else? $40. The new Ninja Nightcrawler, again, that is just one vehicle, so you lose this little extra bit of play value, but it also has 3 figures, and it has about 200 more pieces than this for the same price. Yeah, you could argue, time, and this was... They weren't planning on this selling as well as some of the more modern stuff, but still, I don't think that this is worth the $40 price point. Nowadays, that doesn't really matter because that's not what it's selling for. It's up to eBay and, BrickLink and whatever aftermarket sources you can find to buy this. I would probably recommend just seek out these 2 figures. In all honesty, the rest is not worth it. So, yeah, this was kind of a little bit of a drawn-out review, but I do think it was important to say some of this stuff. I know I went on for a little bit, but this set I don't think was nearly as good as it should have been, and I almost feel like had they reserved a higher price point for this, they could have done a better job, but I don't think they would have, and I think the other problem with that is these tank treads wouldn't be large enough. So, hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think of the set in the comment section down below. I'm interested to hear if anyone else out there agrees or disagrees with me. But I'll see you guys all next time. And, yeah, have a great day.